Welcome back to Solving Politics, the only show on politics where we give you answers to today's political problems and ways to make them happen, too. Well, first I want to talk to you about the Democratic Party. Is it a terrorist political party now? You had the lady running for a statewide office in Texas. Well, she was defeated, but she thought that Zionists should be put in ICE internment camps? Well, even that was too much for the Democrats. But not Graham Platner, who's running for Senate in Maine, who's got a Nazi tattoo on his chest, who can't seem to figure out how it got there. And he's being held up by people like Bernie Sanders who support him. Well, that shouldn't surprise anyone about Senator BS from Vermont. Senator BS from Vermont is a con man and a grifter. This guy has made millions for himself as a humble public servant who's never held a real job in his life. And notice, it doesn't matter whether it's the Christian progressives who seem to hate Christianity, or whether it's the Jewish progressives who hate Judaism and Israel. They always take it out on their own because they're such cowardly, pathetic excuses for human beings. We got Hassan Piker, who people now refer to online as Hamas Piker. I've seen that one in comment sections. Who said the U.S. deserved 9/11. Let me tell you something. For him and his loser nephew, or I should say his loser uncle, who we know now as the Muslim Fred Flintstone or Cenk Uygur, these people come from a criminal ideology called Islam. Not all Muslims, but Islam itself is a psychopathic ideology. It has no conscience, no pity, no remorse. 270 million people are dead. And like the rest of what I call the psychopath sisters, fascism, National Socialism, 70 million dead. Globalist socialism and communism, 125 million dead. Or Islam, 270 million dead. These are criminal and psychopathic ideologies. Islam was founded by a bunch of war criminals. And nothing has changed. And if you take a look at the laws of Islam, they're called Ummahs. Look at the second law of Islam. It says, always support other Muslims, whether they are the victim or oppressor. That means you can oppress anyone you want, and other Muslims are duty-bound to support you. Now, one of the arguments you'll get from these idiots is that, the West and the U.S. are responsible for colonialism. We'll just end that in one sentence. Make people name anything better in all of human history than Western civilization. They can't, so tell them to shut up. And their answers are so laughable. When they talk about how horrible the U.S. is, tell them to name a better superpower in all of human history than the United States. They can't, so tell them to shut up. The U.S. is the country that pretty much ended in conjunction with the British world slavery, which of course still goes on in Africa and in the Muslim world. The U.S. is the country that pretty much ended most of world hunger, has given the world, with the rest of Western civilization, human rights, and put a man on the moon. Tell them to name anything better than that. They can't, and their answers are always laughable on the left and as Islamists because they got nothing to offer. Notice how the loser and criminal ideologies always have to spend their time putting everyone else down because they can't make anything out of themselves. It's like the losers we all have met either in our own family or in our own life who have to always spend their time putting everyone else down because they can't do anything productive themselves. And that sums up the psychopathic ideologies of fascism, communism and socialism, and Islamism perfectly. Again, not all Muslims, but unfortunately more than enough to do severe damage to the world. One of the latest things you'll see from the Islamists, because it's so pathetic, they'll go ahead and start wars, then they'll go crying about when they get their butts kicked. It's been 800 years since a Arab army has beaten a Western power. And you'll hear them crying about about Israel invading Lebanon. But what you'll never hear from the leftists is why Israel is there. They'll never talk about the 900 rockets that have been launched at Israel. See, leftists love their lies of omission, and those are 1,000 times worse than lies of commission. Lies of omission are purposely omitting statistics and facts to make their arguments, and it's much more insidious and worse than lies of commission, which is purposely telling a lie. Now, notice how those 900 attacks, approximately, on Israel, rocket attacks, have gotten almost zero coverage in the media. One has to wonder how much Qatari terrorist dollars they're taking in. Qatar has spent $1 trillion buying off totally corrupt Western institutions, media, academia. I'm sure the entertainment industry is going to be next. Social media, or as I call it, social diseased media. Anything to undermine Western civilization. But the Islamists are not intelligent people. They don't understand that Western civilization, not only did we hand them their phony and totally unearned oil wealth, which nobody other than Western civilization would have done. Anyone other than Western civilization would have gone in there, stole their money, stole their oil, and never handed them trillions of dollars in phony unearned wealth. But not only did we build them, we're the only thing responsible for them staying alive. Because the day Western civilization falls is the day the Chinese communists will sweep down and they will kill every Muslim on planet Earth. They already have 1 million of them in internment camps. And remember, China's the country where Mao put 80 million or murdered 80 million of his own people, and they still consider him a hero because they don't want to admit they made a mistake. Something we teach 5-year-olds how to do. Anyways, the Democratic Party can easily be said to be a terrorist political party now with the spokespeople that they've got. Feel free to spread it far and wide.